Toy Story was supposed to end with Toy Story 2, and then it didn't end, and then we had Toy Story 3, and then that was supposed to be the end, and then it wasn't the end, and now we've Toy Story 4, and then that was supposed to be the end, but now Toy Story 5 isn't the end. At this point, it feels like it's gonna go on forever, but it's been 6 years. We've got a new Toy Story, Toy Story 5, the gang's back. I don't know if I was expecting to like this or not, but I kind of just think that, again, they made another one that I really liked. They got me again.
They pull me back in.
Every
They
time.
wouldn't let me escape. But Tom, I don't think we're alone today.
You sense a
We've
presence.
got a special guest today.
We have Darren here from the Pipeline Podcast.
Hello. I thought I was Sid from the first Toy Story movie. I guess not.
Oh, oh my God.
Oh no.
This is going out publicly. Are you okay to say this?
Yeah, no, I mean, I was a 90s actor, so yeah, I did play Sid in the first. No, I was kidding.
Oh,
No, thank you
yeah.
guys so much for having me. I feel like it's a long time coming. I've had you guys
It
over on
is.
my show about 5 times now, so I kept waiting,
Wow.
being like, one day they'll invite me. I guess it's not this time. All right.
Yeah, it's
Like
been a
we're
long
just
time since we've
gatekeeping
had
this. We're
someone
just
on.
gatekeeping it.
So actually, this is the second part of our collaboration because earlier this
Yes.
week we did talk about the previous 4 Toy
Mhm.
Story films on Darren's channel. So there will be links to that below. You can watch that and then watch this. The two will complement each other like
Yes.
a fine wine and cheese.
This is the Out of Time Film Podcast, where your hosts Tom and John discuss everything from blockbuster films to TV and games like there's no tomorrow.
Toy Story 5. What did you think?
I was very excited for this. I remember when it was first announced, I think like everyone, a bit nervous because I was a big defender of Toy Story 4 and they marketed that one as the final Toy Story movie, one last outing for Toy Story. So to come back again after 2 incredible endings to be like, we're going to try it again, it's a gamble. It's not something to be taken lightly. And I think this outing has cemented Toy Story as probably the greatest ongoing franchise of all time. The fact that this is the lowest rated Toy Story movie of all time with 92% on Rotten Tomatoes is such an insane accomplishment. They just somehow cannot miss when it comes to both the critic and the audience, I feel.
Yeah, they've done it again. I don't know how it's possible.
No, they just keep it in the vault somewhere for a few years and like we can just pick it up again and see how it goes. I think that's the formula. They could bring like an alien storyline, like with the claw.
You want more spin-offs. Lightyear wasn't enough for you.
We don't talk about
Disclosure
Lightyear.
Day, Toy Story style.
Oh, that'd be
Spielberg.
interesting. Like a disclosure day about the toys.
But that's what happened to Sid. It makes so much sense.
Yes. Interesting.
Of course.
Interesting.
Of course. It's interesting that you talk about Pixar's process because it seems like this was a bit of an anomaly for them. This was a shockingly fast turnaround. People who worked in this film have talked about it taking 2 to 3 years as opposed to normally what would be double or more of that time. For you guys, did that kind of come across as a more rushed film this time around?
I'd say for me, no. I actually think it looks pretty good for the time that they had for it. I don't think it looks Toy Story 4 good. I think Toy Story
yeah.
4 is one of the best looking animated movies of all time. Sometimes it looks live action at times, but I think Toy Story 5 looks very beautiful, and I think it probably helps that this is the 5th one and they probably have these character models on lock and they kind of know what they're doing at this point. But no, it is definitely very impressive to kind of see how far they've come. You have a movie next year like Gato, which is supposed to really change the kind of animation that they're doing. So it's cool to see them forever evolving, forever changing how they make these.
What's interesting is that at the beginning of one of the presentations for Toy Story 5, the Buzz Lightyear toys, the new hybrid technology ones, they were supposed to be the villains of the story, which is a massive turnaround because this is not really a spoiler, but they're not the villains, where they're trying to make a point about toys and technology. Can they be infused together in today's world? That goes back to my theories again. Like, what if technology was also alive as well? I think I'm becoming Sid again.
It's going so deep. I do wonder how far in that direction they went with the evil buzzers. Thank God. I don't think that would have worked at all if this army of buzzers had been the villains. So according to Variety, the actual budget of this was 275 million. That is one of the most expensive animated films of all time. Certainly the most expensive Pixar film, expensive Toy Story. Its opening was 312 million. So boom, like already we're breaking even. We're on our way to making a profit. Like they can afford to spend this much. But I wonder if they did spend that much because they had a completely different plot that they then had to kind of like rewrite. I mean, it's an interesting thought.
Yeah, I think these animation budgets at Disney have kind of been around that for the last couple movies over the last couple years. I think Toy Story can get away with it because they're Toy Story and that they're one of the biggest IPs in the world. But when you look at something like Hoppers or some of these other movies that don't have that luxury, I do think Disney is kind of in an era right now where they're trying to be like, wait, how do we get these movies cheaper? Not every movie can come out and make, like, He-Man just came out and it had like a $200 million budget. Not Disney, obviously, but they're struggling right now because they cannot fathom that amount of money for what they put into it. So I think it's fine for Toy Story, but I would like them to at least attempt to be like, hey, yeah, how do we get that budget down a little bit for some of these other movies we're making?
Yeah, because everything seems very expensive production-wise nowadays.
Yeah, I think in terms of this one, there's definitely a thought of when it's announced, where can you go? What can you do that hasn't already been done? And I think that incorporating tech, the main thrust of this story being that Bonnie gets this lily pad, which is essentially an iPad, becomes obsessed with it, and toys everywhere are being played with less and less because of tech invading homes and taking up their entire world, their entire being. And I think that that's the perfect way to take this. With toys going the way that they have, the toy industry is nowhere near as big as it was when the first film came out, or even any of the subsequent ones. There has been a massive shift, and I think that's a really great idea to center that film around tech.
Today's world is very much focused on technology with our phones, with our tablets. The film also explores about the consequences of bullying or the unknown internet. The lily pad knows everything about you, which is terrifying.
Yeah, I think my favorite thing about how they did this was the nuance in the conversation. As much as we would have wanted to, there wasn't going to be a, we beat it, it's gone, you know, it's not like our Lotso Bear or our Stinky Pete where you could just kind of knock them out the window and we're done with them. If you took out Lily Pad, there would just be a new one the next day, right? Or like the next week or whatever. Like technology isn't going anywhere. And so I think they needed to tell a story about not how to get rid of technology, but how to balance technology. And I think it is as much of a movie for the kids as it is for the adults. And one of the big commentaries going into this one was like, was this movie needed? And I'd argue it might be the most necessary Toy Story movie we have yet, because I think it's really important for parents to come out of this movie, not to take away their tablets necessarily, but to be like, maybe I need to watch my children closer. Maybe I need to put a little bit more nuance into what I'm allowing them to do online, and hopefully the return of some creativity, because I grew up kind of in like a weird era where like we started to have technology and stuff like that, but also I had so many toys growing up and I loved just sitting on my floor and playing with all these toys. And I have a little brother now. He doesn't really play with toys. Like he plays on the Xbox and the tablets, and not to sound like old man yelling at clouds, but I do think that's such an important part of growing up, is being able to use your imagination in those very young parts of your life.
Yeah, I think that when we get to the end of this year, it will be very interesting to look back on Toy Story 5, not just as a film and its performance and Pixar, but what will toy sales look like when it comes to Christmas this year? That's always a massive thing. I saw that they're actually releasing those ultra high-tech buzzes from the film. I mean, I don't want to say that I want one, but I'm definitely a little bit like, ooh,
okay,
what's
I
that?
know what I'm getting for you, Tom.
But I do think it'll be interesting. Will there be a spike in, you know, I'm not going to say that like this film's going to change the world, but wouldn't that be nice if there was a spike in toys? It is exciting to think that this one could spur some parents on to making a bit of a change. You know, it's a big thing here in the UK. We just had the announcement of social media being banned for under 16s, and that's going to be a massive shift. That's the remove tech entirely perspective. But I agree with you, Darren. Is that really realistic? I don't know.
I think there's something kind of meta about it too, where they are now releasing lily pad toys for kids to go buy. It's very funny to be like, don't be on the tablet so much, but also here's a tablet you can buy and give your kids that isn't technology exactly, but kind of technology. It's very funny.
Oh my god, imagine just being that kid. Oh my god, the lily pad. After watching the movie, like there's so much trauma from that, and it's like, oh my god, we can get lily pad, you can learn how to write and read on that. Pixar, what are you trying to say? You want us to get lily pads?
This franchise has always just had so many ridiculous toys. There's that Andy toy that you can buy. That's like, why would you want a toy of Andy? Or I've always thought that the Lotso toys are insane. It's like, yes, you too can have the murderous bear, and he does smell like strawberries. And I literally have a Forky at home, and it's like,
yes, you do. Yes, you do.
Why? Yeah, like why does that even even. And then for this one, don't worry, boys. You can buy the Conan O'Brien toilet
hell
training.
No.
device. That's the product that they've
No.
made. Yeah.
I'm going to the shops now.
John's gone. That's it. He's off.
I need Conan O'Brien.
He's great. I think as with every Toy Story film, the new cast of characters in this one, they're delightful. I loved him, the pocket atlas, the camera. It's not just the evil lily pad. We have fun, unique tech that you wouldn't even think of. And I think the idea of making them our new cast of characters rather than more toys was another thing that kind of adds to what we're saying. And I think it works quite well.
Yeah, I think the commentary on some of the side characters are also very interesting. It is very clear they have somewhat of a side character problem. It kind of reminds me of Stranger Things a little bit, where they have so many of these beloved characters they've introduced over the years, but there are now so many of them. We obviously want to see the old characters again because we've fallen in love with the Ham and the Rex and stuff, but they clearly don't have much of an interest in telling their story, but instead these new characters that we're introducing, which I think it's fine. I get it. I really do. But also I'm like, yeah, but what about my boy Rex and Ham and these characters that we have fallen in love with up until this point as well?
Yeah, with Ham, I really miss his jokes. He is the funniest. He is the funniest character. He just has a brain bank. Of course, he's the piggy bank. He knows everything about money. I wish there was something like that in this movie.
Yeah, we spend a lot of time with these other buzzers that show up. It's similar to Toy Story 4, where I was a little bit like, oh, can't we figure out a way to kind of incorporate some of these characters? With a lot of these kind of situations, like Stranger Things, I think, why can't we kill some of the characters? I don't want that. I don't want that. I don't want to just kill them off.
Tom,
No.
no.
I'm saying I
Don't
don't
do
want
it.
that. Literally, a plot point in this is that all the toys are just dumped in the garage. Quite literally, that's what they do. They just sit there. It is a shame that we couldn't have more time with them. But on the flip side of that, much like how Toy Story 4 was firmly Woody's story, this is firmly Jessie's story. And it feels great to have Jessie back in a major capacity, because I feel like in 3 and 4, especially 3, she doesn't do anything. In 3, she's just like Buzz's love interest. She's a damsel. In 4, she has the one moment of popping the tires, but really, she hasn't done much. And I was so happy to get to explore her and her past a little bit more, even though I thought it was very shaky territory to explore more of that backstory.
Yeah, I think these movies' strength, like I think 1 through 3 is such a perfect through line story that they had built up until that point. And I think now that we have a 5th one, it's very clear that this next trilogy that we're building are these independent character studies. Movie 1 obviously being Woody, movie 2 being Jessie, and they've already talked about if they get a 6, and it seems very likely we're going to be getting a 6th, will be a Buzz story completing the Bonnie trilogy. And I think that's something kind of cool that I don't think we've ever seen before. I can't really think of like another animated franchise that had done a trilogy and did a second trilogy, but does something very uniquely different with that said trilogy. And I almost feel like we need to think about these movies a little differently, because I know there's a lot of people who are like, well, this doesn't feel the same. And I'm like, that's fair. I get that. I also don't think it's supposed to feel the same. I think my favorite thing about these Toy Story movies is that they are forever evolving. There is no one similar Toy Story movie. Each movie changes its tone, its style, its artistic vision, and what they want to tell. And this movie was a Jessie story, which I think was one of the best things they could have done. Woody had his time in the sun. Woody had 4 movies to himself to really push that story forward. I think they need new flavor and a new perspective if they are going to keep telling these stories going forward.
It's so weird because then Woody comes back and he's like, hey gang, it's me, I'm coming back.
Yes.
And it's like, this might be controversial. I don't think Woody should have been in this film at all. I think Woody, does he do something in this film to drive the narrative for Bonnie? I think what they should have done to make it its own movie, as you said, Darren, like Jessie's story. Obviously, they have to bring Woody back to bring back the hype. Like, oh my God, Woody's back. He's going to do something like that. So it's frustrating, I think.
I would play devil's advocate just a little bit, where like,
okay,
I do agree he doesn't need to be in this movie. It's very clearly he's there more so from a marketing perspective. It did seem like they wanted to maybe leave him out, and then they're like, guys, money, and it won't do as well if he's not in it. So I get it from that perspective for sure, but I do kind of like how they handle it, because you end Toy Story 4 with his new mission statement being, I need to save lost toys. I need to save the toys that have lost their way. And these toys have kind of lost their way. I do kind of think it makes a lot of sense in his narrative of like, yes, I've moved on. I'm doing a different thing now, but that will always be my family, and like that will always be my home. And I think it does kind of work. I almost think it makes the ending a little bit better because, well, yes, he said goodbye. He was never going to stay away forever. while I get you, and he definitely didn't need to be there. Like, if you cut his stuff on the movie, it doesn't change the movie. It's still relatively the same, but I kind of get why they went and did it.
Yeah, I agree with both of you. I think that the idea behind it is very solid, but I think that the way they utilize him, and he's arguing with Buzz again, it wasn't necessarily the parts of the film that I was the most interested in, but it was very fun, and I think that's great to have those characters back. I don't think this is the first time that he's returned as well, because the walkie-talkies that come out of nowhere, because that wasn't an established part of 4, and so I find it interesting that probably he has been back a couple times, and that's good. I think it's interesting, Darren, that you were talking about each film being different and the structures and the tones being different. This is our first Toy Story film since 2 that doesn't end with a big emotional conclusion. Yeah. You're not walking out of that cinema crying. Not getting into any spoilers, but I do think that that was definitely for the best. We don't need every Toy Story film to be ending on this massive tear-jerking moments. Not that there isn't tear-jerking moments. There was a moment that I cried at. Every Toy Story film still can make me weep. But I think it's great that, like the first 2 films, we end it on a bit more of a happy note. If anything, that speaks even more to the fact that we're probably getting 6, because they're going to want to round this out, like with 3 and 4, on something that's going to just absolutely shatter your emotional core.
And I'm really curious, because I think that's the one thing that they have to follow up. Toy Story 3 and Toy Story 4. They have to somehow find a third amazing emotional stopping point for these characters. And I think that is going to be the biggest undertaking. The 6th one obviously is going to be a completion of the Bonnie arc, the Bonnie trilogy. And so I'm like, okay, we're going to see teenage Bonnie or college age Bonnie. And it's also very interesting that canonically this movie takes place in like 2014. Are we going to jump to present day? Is she going to be 1920 in the next one?
What if it's COVID? What if it's Toy Story COVID? What if it's COVID is canon in the Toy Story universe and it's Toy Story in lockdown?
Wait, can they catch viruses too?
Oh God! I mean, Toy Story 6. Woody has cancer. Jesus Christ!
Oh, whoa!
Maybe the toys created COVID. Like maybe whatever brings them alive is.
What are you saying, Darren?
Yeah, we've gone too far, guys.
Reel it back. Now, there's a lot of hate for Bonnie online. A lot of very unreasonable hate for Bonnie online. Well, this is literally a child. She's got so much more going on in these 2 films than Andy ever had. And I really am enjoying that we're exploring her as a character. She's shy. She doesn't know how to make friends. We're carrying that on from 4. This film is very much picking up beats that have been through other films. We have the Buzz, Jessie, will they, won't they relationship. We have Jessie's insecurities about her past. This film isn't necessarily plucking things out of thin air and saying, let's do this and this and this. It's very much the natural progression. And I really enjoyed that, like Bonnie is somebody who still has that childlike joy and imagination at a time when her friends are moving on from that. That causes her to feel very ostracized. Let's get into spoilers.
Let's go into spoilers.
And there are some really heartbreaking scenes where her friends are unnecessarily cruel to her in the way that only kids are. That broke my heart to see this young girl really struggle with that.
The other things I really liked about this movie was the change in style when there's different moments of playtime where they have their own story. There was one bit that I absolutely loved when we got another character called Blaze. Yeah. Blaze lives on this farm where Jessie, that was Emily's toy where she lived, and Blaze plays with Jessie and Bullseye and with the tech. And there's this fantastic scene where Jessie plays this spy. Bullseye is voiced by Ellen Cumming. It's just so fantastical. It's just bonkers. It's so interesting. I love that. It's so cool.
Yeah, I liked what they did with the Emily stuff with Jessie in this movie. I think these last couple movies have been about the relationship with letting go and to moving on, and that's been the theme of both 3 and 4, and I think we dive a little bit further into that. I think this movie is about Jessie after all of these years, after 17 years locked in a box, after being abandoned by not only Emily, but also Andy, and now almost Bonnie in this movie. We really dive into her abandonment arcs, and I think this is a movie about her finally letting go of her grief and her finally, after all these years, being able to move on from Emily and getting closure over these people that have left you. And I think that was a really good decision.
Yeah, when we open with those bloody piano notes again, I was like, you're not starting with this. You're not starting with somebody loves me. I was like, oh God, I'm going to cry immediately. We see Emily writing her address and I was immediately like, oh no, they're going to bring Emily back. Oh, this is we can't do this. And yeah, I didn't want to see that. But what they did with it, the reveal reveal that Emily named her daughter after Jessie, that is the scene that really brought me to tears. I just thought it was absolutely beautiful. That's what Jessie the toy needed, was to know that she mattered in some capacity. And I think everybody does something stupid where they get rid of a beloved childhood thing and they come back to it as an adult and they're like, why did I do that? That meant so much to me. And like, if your closest companion at a certain age is your toy, maybe you would name your kid after them. And I think that was so gut-wrenching. I didn't know what to expect when she was digging up that box, but they nailed that.
And I cried once again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There it is.
I was like, yeah, I know this film's going to make me cry one way or another. It just wrapped up so nicely. But the original idea for the story, I believe the ending was to have Emily as a grandmother to introduce Jessie to her granddaughter. I'm glad that they cut it off because this was way more impactful.
Yeah.
Like, it's so sad and so heartwarming. Pixar, why'd you make me sad?
Yeah, I think it's a really smart choice to get our emotions out of the way, get the Emily scene and the scene where Bonnie's also being cyberbullied as well, I thought was a tear-jerking moment. And then we get to have the fun of the final act with all the horses and the drone flying buzzes and Buzz and Jessie finally getting together. How do we feel about that? Some people are saying it came out of nowhere. I don't know if they've ever seen Toy Story 2, 3, or 4, but it definitely didn't come out of nowhere. I mean, I thought it was really cute.
I think it's fascinating because Toy Story 4 was originally pitched as the rom-com Toy Story. Like, that was the original pitch all the way back in, like, 2011. Obviously, the script changed a lot over those however many years, and one of the big things is like, well, Woody and Bo Peep don't even kiss at the end of Toy Story 4. And so it's very interesting that this one kind of feels a little bit more like the rom-com style. But I thought it was very cute. I thought it was very Frozen 2 coded, if you guys have seen that movie. Same kind of template for like the male lead of that movie where it's like, okay, female lead gets to go on this adventure and then the male lead, his whole arc is like, I want to propose or whatever. And so I will say, where it's maybe not my favorite Buzz outing, I definitely like this subplot more than the last Buzz subplot. Maybe I would have liked a little bit more of a highlight on his capabilities and his role in the group, but I'm fine with it, especially if the rumors of 6 are true and 6 is fully his movie next time around.
It's about time that he gets spotlight, and with the Frozen 2 comparison, I'm now just imagining Buzz singing Lost in the Woods, but like instead of reindeer, it's the aliens.
Yeah, I think with Buzz, it was interesting to see all of the Buzz technology stuff. I thought maybe there would be some more interacting with that idea of like from Toy Story 2, he sees the other version of Buzz, like, was I this deranged? I wish there could have been something with that to see how he deals with technology, because Buzz is a very technical toy.
Well, in this one, the new Buzzes actually fly. They don't fall with style. They become drones and they fly.
They have like a QR code and like a Bluetooth. I want to know how much the Lightyear movie made at the box office in universe for Buzz as a IP to still be this popular. Like, I have to think this is like $1 billion movie. Like, I think 100%. People loved it in their universe.
It's like Star Wars if Star Wars was even better. And also like no sequels that can be discerned. It's just like one movie that was just the biggest thing that anyone's ever made.
And it made $1 trillion, like, box office.
There it is,
It's interesting because we got Toy Story 1 with Buzz, the advertising, this cannot fly. So now it flies. So I wonder what were the ramifications of testing for years.
There's an ultimate opening where there's like a mad scientist like, finally, I've done it! I don't know how I feel. I kind of think it might, for me, I think it's a step too far. I didn't love the whole flying thing. We could have just been a drone.
I kind of feel that way about the whole army of Buzz Lightyears in general. Like, I didn't hate it or anything. I wasn't like, how dare this movie? Like, I like it more than some of the other stuff. But, like, I do wonder how much was cut. Because, like John said earlier, it was supposed to be evil. And I wonder if that's maybe why it felt a little hollow for me. Because they're kind of just doing stuff the whole time.
They're about to murder a family. It's like, what?
Yeah.
There was one sweet moment with the Buzz.
Yeah, I agree.
When, just before they murdered that family, they look inside the tent and they see one of the Buzz who got taken away by the family. It's such a wholesome moment where they all look at the Buzz, they see him with the family reading a book, and then the Buzz is like, no, don't murder this family. Just stand down, guys. But no, it's a wholesome moment. I don't want to see a spin-off of that, like where they have
another Lightyear movie.
God
no. No. It's like we have
unrelated.
Yeah, I think for me it's structural. It's the fact that for a good 2 acts of the film, the buzzes feels like it doesn't have any relevance, and you're thinking, how is this even going to connect? I don't think how it eventually becomes relevant was enough for me.
It kind of feels like a Pixar short, right? Like,
yes,
yes. Pixar made like a bunch of those 6-minute Toy Story shorts where it's just a side character doing something. It kind of just feels like they just stuck one of those in the movie. And again, I wonder why the villain plotline was. I'm glad it was, because we've done the evil buzz thing like 4 separate times. I didn't need it again, but like I do wonder what it originally looked like, and it kind of does just kind of feel a little bit of like filler. It is one of the longer Toy Story movies, and it probably is because of this subplot.
I do miss the shorts at the beginning of each Pixar movie.
Yeah.
Okay, well, the final thing that I have to ask is, how would you rank the 5 Toy Story films? Ooh. John, I'll start with you.
Okay, I have to go with Toy Story 2 as number 1, then number 2 would it be Toy Story 3, and then 1, 5, and 4. There we go.
Okay, Darren?
I'd go, Toy Story 3 is my GOAT, Toy Story 2, Toy Story 1, Toy Story 5, Toy Story 4, and then let's go all the way to the bottom and say Lightyear at the bottom of
Lightyear? Oh, wow. Oh, yeah.
I didn't know we were including that. Okay,
I didn't know we were including that. Wow.
Okay, so I'll go. Number 1 is Lightyear. No, I'm kidding. Number 1 is Toy Story 2, then 3, then 1, then 4, then 5. But I think, as is reflected in the Rotten Tomatoes, they're all so close. It's just insane. Like,
so good.
There's not a bad ranking for Toy Story.
Exactly. Yeah. You could say anything, and as long as Lightyear isn't at the bottom, I wouldn't have an issue. And then the only thing left to say is, what are we all going to give Toy Story 5 out of 10?
Oh, shoot.
I
think on Redbox I gave it like a 4 out of 5. So would that be like an 8 out of 10?
8 out of 10.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's 8 out of 10 for me as well.
8 out of 10 for me as well. Look at this. It's like we coordinated it.
Wow.
We found it. We found the film that we all unanimously agree on. I say that as if there's been tons of controversies between us. You can go to Darren's channel for more. And thank you, everybody, for listening. Thank you, Darren, for coming and joining us.
Yes.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
This expedition. Plug your stuff. Tell us more about what you've got coming up.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much. Yeah, you can find me over at Darren Sanctuary. We talked about Toy Story 1, 2, 3, and 4. We talked about the psychological implications of the Toy Story franchise. And of course, you guys have been on many times at this point. We ranked Spider-Man movies. We've talked Superman. We have an ongoing bit where John's favorite movie of all time is the Minecraft movie. So there's your little clickbait. Go watch those episodes.
It's canon.
Squared.
It's true.
There's
true.
Going to be a Minecraft Squared podcast episode sometime in 2050. So.
Oh my! And that is when we'll bring Darren back. So a guarantee right now.
Yes.
Darren's on to talk about Minecraft Squared.
Wow.
And yeah, thank you everyone for listening. If you liked it, subscribe. Next week we are doing Supergirl, another big release.
Hey!
Email us. No one ever emails us, but you can if you want. outoftimefilmpod@gmail.com. One day.
Yes, you can follow us on Instagram at Out of Time Film Pod to see our incredible thumbnails from Zain, on Twitter from us, from Tom and me, and Darren, and Darren too. Thanks to Elle for the excellent theme, and Ronan for vocals as always. And I think that's everything. Thank
Darren,
you again, Darren.
Do you want to join us in our exit? You know the words? Do you ever listen that far?
Okay, hold on. Is it take what it's given something back, or something like that, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Take what you're given?
Given something back.
yeah, we'll take it.
All right, okay, good. Goodbye.
Goodbye.